Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. In last episode, we explored the library and met an interesting person. It was an old elf who seems to look like too old for an elf, if you want, since from what I understand from the lore here, elves are usually they stay pretty and young, and this elf was really old and he had a beard and stuff like that. So today we are going to find out more about him and continue the story. Um, as for that, I don't know where to find him. He's probably here at the inn. I just need to find where. So maybe this, no. Okay, let me first see what are my quests. Talk to the Storyteller. So, yeah, his name is Storyteller. So let's try to find him here. Maybe, yeah, there he is. Okay, do I have anything to sell? I do. So let's go and finish that first. Bulk selling. Maybe this won't work. Okay, I think that's everything for now. Oh no, we have swords as well. So I will keep this one. Let's sort. Okay. Okay, let's talk to the Storyteller now. He's here with Darren. Is that you, my savior? I recognize your footsteps. Determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. You're welcome, old man. Earbed has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Cannabis that the local Wardstone had been desecrated. They weighed off my warning and paid for their inaction. So he was the one who warned the authorities about the demons. I explained many Wardstones, but only in the one guarding Cannabis did I sense a flaw, a spot of corruption inside, a vulnerability the demons will surely use. They're able to spread the light inside the Wardstone, corrupt it, and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The Wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you and why did they let you to examine the Wardstone? I am a storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I am old, even for an elf. I've seen a lot of things and have been to many places. Not so long ago, I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stolen Lands. Let me see. The Stolen Lands are almost wholly unsettled region in the northern section of the River Kingdoms. Okay. Led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. So he's kinda like a seer or something like that. This is not common for me. Some seek my advice or services, and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt a soul, stayed out of other squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Erosian who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the Wardstone was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Canabras. Do you wield some special power, some instinct? Yes, to a certain extent, but it is more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds its owner's memories are revealed to my mind, their emotions, passions, and tragedies. I see visions like I'm them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I'll gather them all. What blight is concealed in the Wardstone? I am afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the Wardstone was created, and it's hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning, remembered with fear, even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers, and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they covered the Wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Would such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Ayomede herself? The locals think it's impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon officers brought their unholy forces here. Even the terrifying Baylor Koramzadeh. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but the Skari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Canabras. And when the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demons' hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to the other stones along the whole perimeter of the world wound. Why did you travel to the Wardstones? I tried to see their stories. The vision I had when I touched the Wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. This sounds like beacons from Mass Effect to me, like the Warstones carry some sort of message, and only a special person can link those messages into one to understand it. I've heard you, Storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument that's powerful enough to banish it from the Wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Canabras, but the demons might have something. Okay. I heard the dying roar of Terendelev, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. Same time, I felt a wave of an unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go where Terendelev perished and search there for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but intuition and strange sense of righteousness tell me to point you there. Okay, present the purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Terendelev perished. What do you think of it? Even from here, I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it, using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions, and threads of their memories. Maybe it will help us to better understand what we're dealing with. Very well. He touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with the hungry masterful glyph. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair, to my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body, overfilled with food, is so huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top of her is her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. Is this a bird? You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth, a creeping, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings, a symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. She points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. The mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters. The bone spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful small head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory! I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Does this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. Even looking at the Wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption in it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clenched stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of Wardstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with the knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. What was that? That was not past. That was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you to cleanse the Wardstone or to destroy it. So I need to find a butterfly to help me cleanse the Wardstone. That's not really anything to go on. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It is hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment, your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control of your own hands. Never before has anything like this happened to me, but now I am not an oracle or a prophet. Or is this another of riddles from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen, I don't know why it's happening now. But there is only one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes. Great changes. I shared your vision and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This is the first time this happened. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us, something we don't yet understand. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has happened to me before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have you our paths crossed? I feel like this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something. But what? Questions with no answers. I swear, this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knife that gives you the power of divination. This knife is powerful, but I feel that its power is of a different type. No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw was destined to happen? No, the future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when the god Aroden guarded Golarion, but not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the paths leading to it. But the choice has not been made, and our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I do not know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. 2 minutes ago I would have agreed with you, but the thing that just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and the changes frightened me. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story. Let me touch them and I'll see what I can see. The elf takes the Yaniel sword, the Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. Proud Terendalev, protector of Canabris. You devoted your life serving people. Your death is a great loss, but perhaps I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to many admirers. He touches Finian. What a peculiar weapon. I sensed intelligence in it, but it seems dented. Haha, Grandpa Elf, watch where you're poking your fingers, it tickles. An old thing created long ago by a divine will. He talks about a fragment of gold buckle, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret it is hiding. Do you want to know it? Bring me the 5 vials of magic essence, and I will revive this object, and with it, its story. Five vials. Can I do that? Okay, I think he talked about scale, radiance, finance, but I know about the stone. Present stone. Okay, that's let's see. Okay, that's the one we already talked about. Can I do anything to help you? I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Cannabis there is a manuscript authored by an elf from Kionin who witnessed Earthfall. For personal reasons, I would like to examine it. No matter how hard I try, I've failed to find it. Even in the Blackwing library, I only found the mention that manuscripts exist and is held somewhere in the city. Okay. Okay, let me go. So we need the vials. Let's save the game first. I think I have some vials, not sure how many. Let me check. Or maybe I don't actually. So I actually seems like I don't have it. Elemental essence. I have 6 of these, but they're not vials, I guess. I will buy. I think there should be some over here.
We march ahead.
Not really sure. I'm going to check. Show me the scrolls you're selling. I don't know if he only has scrolls. I don't think so. So I need vials, elemental essence. I mean, this should be it. I will check the quest once more. Vials of magic essence. But I do have that. I don't know why it doesn't count. How about we check here? Vial of magic essence. Maybe, let me see, ingredients. Yeah, I have 6 of. This is a elemental essence. Maybe I need magic essence. What is this guy? But he have nothing. Ingredients. Let's see. No, there is only a elemental essence. Maybe magic essence is crafted. No idea. In any case, I think we need to continue the story now. But before that, maybe I will talk to my members of the party. Defender Heart is splendid choice for the Crusaders' outspot. The very sight of these walls brings back the fond memories of drink and routes. The drinks were really good, by the way. May I ask you for personal questions? You heard the stories about... Okay, there is a lot, so I will do that in my own time, maybe. Okay, let's go out and continue the quests.
leads on.
So now I need to think who to bring. Honestly, I would really like to get her maybe. I mean, I have a healer, he's a healer. What I could do first, he's not healed, so maybe I could rest. Yeah, that's a good idea. I will rest first, since not all of them are healed. So where is the bed? Can we talk to her? You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain hopeful when surrounded by such horror? Hope. No, hope is a lie. What would we hope for? The world is in hands of demons. The gods cannot help. Or they don't want. Or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but still they quarrel with each other and fight and steal. There's no hope. Only us. We'll have to win without hope. It will be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle, which means we'll have to make one happen. What choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win, because we have to. Tell me about yourself. Well, they call me Ember. I used to live in the river city and now I walk with you. That's my story. Why they call you Ember? I've had a lot of names. When I was little, Mom and Dad called me Dove or Cricket or Kitten. Dad called me his ray of sunshine. And when my mom was cross, she called me by a long name, a grown-up one. I do not remember it, no matter how hard I try. Then, when I came to live in the river city, the good people called me different funny names, like Ember or Torch or Smoky. I do not know why. They called me Bird Brain because I have a crow. They called me Lucky 7 because of my fingers. She raises her hands, the middle finger on her right hand and two smaller fingers on her left are missing. They sometimes call me grilled meat and said I was stupid, but I didn't feel hurt. I mean, they're right, I really am silly. They didn't mean to hurt me. I like amber, it's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside they're grey and cold like stones, but they're warm inside. You can blow on them and they'll start fire to help you survive on a cold night. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Amber it is. Where are you from? Far away from the flower country. It's beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls. And everyone is like me, with pointy ears. There's no round-eared people, no short ones, no horned heads. We live there together, me and Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all good people should go on crusade and fight demons. And Mom said that he was silly, it was so far away and none of our business. That he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me, he took me along. He said I was born same year that hole to the demon world opened. He said it was a sign that I would be one of the heroes who closed it. Of course I'm not a hero, but I'm here anyway. helping as much as I can. Where did you get your scars? It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said all good people are going to the world want to heal it. He said the crusaders were the best people in the world, and together we were going to win. But when we arrived at the river city, the crusaders got everything mixed up. They thought my dad and I were bad, and decided to burn us at the stake. Dad died, and I cried so loudly that one good night realized it was all a big mistake. He started yelling at the other crusaders, even the one in charge, and then walked right into the fire and got me out. The others tried to stop him, but he took out his sword and scared them away. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned so badly that he died not long after, but I'm still alive. Few fingers missing and my skin is funny. I've lived in River City ever since. I never had my own house, but I had many friends. And then the demons came and I met you, and you know what happened after that. Is it really so easy for you to forgive men? I'm not sure I could be so merciful. No one can say how much good or evil they have in them. No one can see into their own soul. No one knows until it's time to check. Okay, that makes sense. Do you worship any deity? Dad has taught me to pray to Ayomede. He says she was a kind goddess and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. They even lit the fire with a prayer to her. And she did nothing to help us. But then one kind knight alone, without any gods, changed his mind and saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything and they are scared of everything. So they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they are afraid of being responsible for themselves. And the gods will listen to praise and they become smug and arrogant and begin to believe that they're better than us. But they're no better. They're silly sinners just like the rest of us. Sometimes I pray to the gods, different ones, the good ones, the bad ones. I ask them to stop fighting and hurting each other. I do not know if they ever hear me, but if they do, I mean, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. If he can change, maybe Baphomet can too. Oh, she's so naive. How did you survive on the streets? There are a lot of good folk in the river city. When I sang for them in the street, they'd often give me coins or bread or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with other homeless and they showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, where I could find discarded things. Oh man, her story is so sad. When the demons destroyed the river city, I looked for my friends but I found no one. They probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in, and the knights won't protect them either. The knights are like gods, so self-important. They're saving the world after all. What do they care about homeless? Still smiling, the girl shrugs. Yeah, this is like a picture of the real world, where some people claim to have they claim that they want to improve the society and the life of other people, but in reality all they do is abuse their power and make them themselves feel better and live better. Where do your powers come from? These tricks, I have them from my grandma. So, she used to be father's grandma, and before that his father's. I never seen her myself, but she is very clever and kind. When I lived on the streets, sometimes she left food for me or a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I feel her stroking my hair as I fall asleep, but if I open my eyes, there's no one near. I assume it has something to do with this bird. Maybe the bird is shifting into some divine being or demonic being. I'm not sure yet. She also sent me Suit. She tells Suit how to do the different tricks, and Suit is there to teach me. Yeah, like I said, thank you for your answers. I have to go. Let me check the time. So I will talk to my members right now, and I will end the episode there. Then next one we'll go to continue the story. There you are. May I ask you personal questions? I've heard stories about the tragedy that befell your family. I hope you don't feel obliged to offer me your insincere condolences on this unfortunate occasion. My whole family, my entire noble line, they all died, and the demons are to blame. It's not like I actually loved any of relatives except for my mother, but what's gone is gone. The family crypts are full of corpses, all covered in dust and the shadows of the past. What do you cherish most in life? There are far too many things that I cherish to fit them all into a single conversation, believe it or not. But I might be one of the most loving people you'll ever know. I rarely meet anyone who embraces the joys of living as enthusiastically as myself. There are so many exciting and beautiful things in the world. It should be illegal to waste your time on anything you do not enjoy. And I'm not afraid to repeat to anyone's face, should it be Discari and his demonic herd, or Ayomeda and the Lightbringer herself. What do you hate the most? Okay, this is starting to sound like a blind date. Like you go out with someone and you start asking these weird things like what do you like the most? What are your hobbies? And honestly, that sounds unnatural. I'll be honest, because when you like someone, when you meet someone, I don't know, it just kind of feel weird to go out on a date and feel like it's an interview instead of time where you need to enjoy yourselves. What do you hate the most? The feeling of helplessness, the lack of control over my own life. And onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person who came up with those abominations. Well, I disagree there. I like onion rings. They're not bad. You don't seem especially keen on helping people, but your knowledge of healing is truly impressive. What prompted your interest in that? If you really want to try out everything in life has to offer, you also have to understand how to deal with the consequences. And I'm not talking about a simple hangover. Do you enjoy being mean to everyone? Yes. Okay. And here I thought you were hurling insults at people purely by accident. I like your way with words. What did you expect me to say if I wanted to make a good impression? Something along the lines, oh, I'm not mean, I'm just being honest with myself and everyone else. That's what people use an excuse when they want to keep up their saccharine facade while still saying whatever nasty thoughts spring to mind. That is not what I do. I do not have a hidden agenda. I'm just as much as of insufferable prick as I seem to be. Some people are simply begging for a good dose of mockery, so who am I to deny them? I don't give a damn if anyone holds a grudge against me, which is why I don't even try to avoid it. I have to say, I agree with this guy at some level. Like, I'm also an honest person. I'm always honest. I will tell you the truth. So yeah, I understand him, but I don't enjoy being prick to people. Like, I'm trying to avoid insults. Do you have good stories about your past exploits? I got plenty, but I have to warn that even the most outrageous debauchery sounds far less thrilling when you were not the one doing the debauching. Still, since you asked, I suppose the worst mess I've ever got myself into was when I staged my own kidnapping. Okay, that's weird. I was once in correspondence with one of the Riverland's nobles, the young Lord Lebeda, and he told me about his days as a hostage to a group of bandits. This made me wonder what it would be like, and I thought that it might be fun to set up a little experiment. I engineered my own kidnapping by a certain gang through a chain of intermediaries and hired actors. Those fellows took the job too seriously. They caught me by surprise, killed my two bodyguards, and even tied me up. Of course, the whole thing seems preposterous now, but it seemed like an ingenious idea at the time. The employers had told the kidnappers they were to keep me safe and sound, and another group of mercenaries in disguise was watching this spectacle from afar, ready to interfere in case anything went wrong. It turned out to be a terrible idea. It wasn't the least bit of fun or exciting. Sure, those bandits had been unable to torture or hurt me physically in any way, but they had plenty of other non-invasive methods of humiliation in their arsenal. Taking almost all of your clothes off and splashing ice-cold water over you, for example. Ew, I can't even remember if I said anything truly offensive to provoke them. Even though I initially planned to let them go after the ransom, their overly emotional reactions had made me to change my mind. I told my mercenaries to hand them all on the spot. I suppose the whole ordeal taught me a valuable lesson, which is that I am not built for hardships and trials. Wait, you just told me that a couple of your bodyguards died during the staged kidnapping. Does that mean two innocent people lost their lives so that you could have a bit of fun? Oh, spare me. It irks me beyond all the measure when I hear about the suffering in innocence. Yes, the bodyguards died. Guarding the nobles is a dangerous job, and they were aware of the risk. I don't really see a problem with that. Besides, they proved their incompetence. They would have stood no chance against the real kidnappers. Your cruel jokes bring people nothing but misery. And so that was a stupid story, and I know I'll tell you a truly brilliant one. Prelate Hulrun had always strictly prohibited any public celebrations in cannabis, and he always picked on me for my lack of respect for the fallen and whatnot. His grumbling annoyed me so much that one day I drove 4 barges into the city harbor and set up celebration on their decks. The ships on the river didn't fall under the prelate jurisdiction, and you see, so all he could do was snarl at me from the embankment. I, for one, did not forget the old boy. The main attraction of festivities involved an inquisitor of Iomede dancing and roasting beautiful witches on illusory bonfires, taking off his clothes with every new victim. The spectacle was so heated, in every sense of the word, that the prelate almost had a stroke. I still consider that one of my finest ideas of all time. Should the Crusaders ever succeed in their efforts against the World One, I will do my utmost to get permission to hold a grand public celebration. Rivers of wine free of charge, an obligatory parade and a carnival in the evening. The contest for the most provocative succubus costume with a hefty prize in gold. Another contest where the participants have to fish a sausage out of a wine jar blindfolded with their hands tied behind their backs. The wine will symbolize the blood of all the dead heroes of the war, and the sausage, well, they'll find a heroic meaning for that as well. Over the years, the commemoration of the greatest victory of light over darkness will turn into an ordinary holiday. Fine excuse to get sloshed and run like animals in the streets. Okay, I guess this guy likes to party. I'd like to talk about life in Mendev and the Crusade. What's your opinion on Mendev today in general? It doesn't exist. It is a frontier country that has attracted every utopian adventurer and fanatic from all over the world for more than a century. It is a place where the strangers outnumber the locals, especially in the cemeteries. The population of Mender, for the most part, consists of humans and other races not exactly known for their longevity. So the current generations of Mendevians were born in the shadow of the Whirlwind and raised by the Crusades. That's kind of weird. It reminds me of my own town. We have people from all around the region in my city, so it's crowded too much. I might be the last person to complain about the decline of traditions and lack of character in our country, but I also happen to come from one of the Mendev's most ancient lineages. Its history is bred deep in my bones. My tutors told me stories about my heritage, the galleries, libraries, and even the interiors of the manors I grew up in were filled in the brim with memories of events long past. There are many heroes of old Mendev among my glorious ancestors, or at very least patrons and contemporaries of such heroes. Does anyone actually do remember them now? I don't think so. These days, Mandev has its own heroes, in shining armor and with holy fire in their eyes. I myself do remember how several streets that once celebrated my ancestors were renamed in honor of some crusaders who had died in a heroic fashion. None of the citizens remember the old crossing festival that was eventually replaced by Armase. These holidays even share the same date. Pretty much the only authentic thing about Mandev now is its endless war with demons. And is there a point in bemoaning the state of affairs? What's gone is gone, but at least we're no longer some tiny godforsaken northern kingdom, and that's something, isn't it? You don't really like crusaders, do you? Quite the opposite. When I think about how many of devoted heroes are willing to protect the world against demonic threat, I feel so inspired to continue indulging my vices while they fight to keep me safe. I don't like this guy. Imagine being someone like me, someone who has everything they can possibly desire: youth, beauty, wealth, an honest wish to live and enjoy living, but vanishingly few ways to put it all to any use. The fact that the world fun itself is not yet outlawed in Mandev must be due to some bureaucratic or oversight. You can celebrate your victory solemnly. You can wet your whistle after a challenging battle, but what about real fun, joys, pleasures? I can't remember a single evening at court without someone chastening me for my banquets, lovers and mistresses, my luxuriant clothes, my everything. It would have been a lot easier to tolerate all those hypocrites if they took a break once in a while. Instead, there was a constant fuss about how I wasn't doing anything for the greater good, how I only brought shame to my royal cousin. What do you think of our enemies? Do you mean the demons themselves or their followers? The former deserve to be cleansed with heavenly fire for their unholy origin alone, and the latter for their idiocy. I don't understand why a sane person would submit themselves to this Scary or Cabreri. Alright, the Lady Noticulus almost seems like a bearable enough mistress, yet there are so many other cultists. They've tried to recruit me twice already, and I'm not even that old. First, a very pretty tiefling girl tried to seduce me. Then they came with promises of Lord Baphomet's endless boons. I still wonder what exactly the old hornhead would offer me that I don't already have. You know what I've been thinking? Every shopkeeper knows this trick. An enticing offer along the lines of 1 in every 100 buns from my bakery contains a silver coin. And of course a hired actress to make a memorable show of finding said coin in her sweet roll. And there you have it. Hundreds of gullible fools storm the shop hoping to win a prize for themselves. I think the infamous Arielu Forlash was such an actress for the Lords of the Abyss, a pretty Sarkorian witch who became the uncrowned queen of the world wound, waited upon hand and foot by demon lords. Only instead of visiting the bakery, the gullible fools rushed to join the cultists. We have an army of unbelievably strong supernatural invaders from another dimension, hell-bent on destruction and domination, and what do these fools do? They serve them willingly as pawns and lackeys, hoping against hope, and that someday their master will notice them. You won't believe how delighted I am to be so vain and self-absorbed. These sins protect me against the demonic temptation better than any virtue. Why did you want to join my party after all? You mean instead of carousing far away from Canterbury with a small army of mercenaries to protect me? I will get to that. You see, when you appeared at my door out of nowhere, awash with bravery and heroism, and started tossing demons around like ragdolls, I thought that your company might be more exciting than my usual crowd of sycophantic hangers-on. You seemed competent and mysterious at the same time. So I decided a little demon hunting wouldn't hurt, especially with such an intriguing entourage. That party had been growing taller with every passing second away. I'm not here for long, needless to say. I shall return to the capital, or even one of my country states, as soon as we reclaim the city. Crusades, beloved commanders, row upon row of identical tents. This is not the life for me. But I will certainly remember when you're and our adventures together for a week, or perhaps even longer than that. Okay, I should go. And I think this is where I will end this episode. In this episode we managed to learn more about the Storyteller, the Wardstones, and Darren and Ember. In the next episode I'm going to focus more on completing the quests, so there will be probably fighting. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to click a like, subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. If you want to see more videos and streams, feel free to join me on Twitch and Discord. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by checking the links in the description below. Thank you once again, and see you in the next video. Bye.